On August 12th, we challenged 9 planners to tell us about current issues or projects in the Washington, D.C. region. To make it fun and fast-moving, we gave them just 7 minutes and 21 slides each to get their points across. Join us now for these presentations as they were enjoyed in NCPC's Commission chambers that rainy evening. Next up, our own Andrea Lytle from NCPC. Take it away, Andrea.
Thanks. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll count that my time. So tonight I'd like to talk with you about some of the ideas that we've been exploring here at NCPC related to temporary commemorations and how they could add to our memorial landscape in Washington. First, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague Lucy Kemp, who is NCPC's resident expert on commemoration. She would ordinarily be giving this presentation tonight, except that she's in France. There we go. Okay. So Congress authorizes new commemorations on federal land in Washington. NCPC, along with the National Capital Memorial Advisory Commission and the Commission on Fine Arts, work with memorial sponsors to locate and review the designs for new monuments. As we all know, there have been countless books written about the beauty and significance of Washington's memorials, the great leaders they celebrate, the events that they remember, the sacrifices they honor, and the deep feeling of emotion they evoke. As a capital city, commemoration takes on heightened significance because it tells the history of our nation and our relationship with the world. They embellish DC's monumental avenues, enhance our parks and open spaces, and make random cameo appearances in every episode of Real World, Top Chef, and Real Housewives of DC. But while many of our monuments are iconic, a few are a bit ironic. Here we have the Temperance fountain on Pennsylvania Avenue, given by a dentist who believed that easy access to cool drinking water would keep people from drinking alcohol. So while Prohibition didn't last, the monument always will. The lesson here is that sometimes it's hard to judge what future generations will consider worthy of commemoration. And then there's the Boy Scout Memorial on the White House ellipse. The scantily dressed man you see here is one of 2 allegorical figures, which is intended to represent, and I quote, the great ideals of past civilizations delivered by American manhood and womanhood to the present generation. Kirk Savage's book Monument Wars describes how strange this monument must have looked even to visitors when established in 1964, at a time when America's mom and apple pie ideals of the 1950s were giving way to growing social unrest and opposition to the Vietnam War. The lesson here is that future generations will always reinterpret our memorials. The Temperance Fountain's message is not as relevant as it once was. The Boy Scout Memorial is perhaps not the most timeless of designs. This weight of permanency is one of the most difficult challenges in creating and designing new memorials. So in recognizing this challenge, we've been thinking about how temporary works could give us another way to tell the stories of our present time and add to the ideas, groups, and individuals celebrated and remembered through commemoration. The AIDS quilt poignantly teaches us that temporary displays can be just as moving and transformative as permanent works. Or consider the emotional struggle to commemorate 9/11. While discussion of an appropriate permanent memorial is continuing 10 years later, the Tribute and Light Memorial was in place within just 6 months. As a temporary display, the light installation could transcend the heated debate about whether to rebuild the World Trade Center and how. Removing this weight of permanency allowed for a simplified review process, the freedom to experiment with a new medium, and provided a stunning memorial and a bit of remembrance for a city and nation still reeling from the tragedy. We think this type of memorial could be particularly effective in Washington, where the Commemorative Works Act requires a 25-year waiting period before constructing a new monument. And although certainly this is less important important of an issue, it is worth noting that temporary works are generally far less expensive. For example, while Tribute and Light cost $500,000 to construct, the permanent memorial is projected to cost more than $500 million. The rising cost of memorials is a trend we also see in DC, as recent works have included substantial design and support features such as fountains and visitor centers. While most memorials are privately funded, the rising expense also limits the subject matter to those that can raise tens or hundreds of millions to pursue congressional authorization and pay for design and construction. But temporary commemorations can simply involve painting a road to create a memorable tribute. Steve Taylor's recent road tattoo on Vermont Avenue, which is called Sons and Daughters, recognizes the children of local service members who died in Iraq and Afghanistan. This type of memorial enhances our public spaces and offers a special opportunity for us to become part of the art instead of just viewing it as a spectator. So what could a temporary commemoration look like? The Fourth Plinth project in London's Trafalgar Square gives us one successful example. Originally intended for an equestrian statue, the Fourth Plinth remained empty for more than 150 years over public disagreement about an appropriate subject. In 1998, the Royal Society of Arts commissioned a series of contemporary sculptures to be temporarily displayed on the plinth. In the last 10 years, 5 rotating works of art have been installed, including a sculpture of a pregnant disabled artist and the ship in a bottle commemorating the Battle of Trafalgar. A third work was the living monument, One and Other, which gave 2,400 individuals 1 hour over the course of 100 days to stand on the plinth and do anything they wished. Some people told stories, sang, did yoga, or dressed as cows. The event brought thousands of people to the square, and of course it was broadcast live on the web. NCPC will continue to explore these ideas at an upcoming forum this December. We're delighted to be joined by the administrator of the Fourth Plinth Project, a representative from the Tribute and Light Memorial, and Christoph Wodisko, who creates public art through large-scale visual projections. We hope that you will join us. Permanent commemoration will always be a powerful reminder of the people and events that have shaped our nation. Temporary commemoration suggests that there are multiple ways to celebrate these stories within the dynamic realm of Washington's memorial landscape. Thank you.